Okay, so today in class we learned how to find the inverse of a square function, and it's going to involve a square root function. So in each of these, all we have to do is take the x and the y and switch them, and then solve for y. So in number one, we're going to replace this with x, and replace the x with y. So we're going to have x equals y plus 4 squared. And now our object is to get y by itself. So in order to do that, we're going to take the square root so we can unsquare. So we have the square root of x equals y plus 4, because this will cancel out the square. And now we're going to subtract 4 to get y by itself. Now you're subtracting 4 from the function, not inside of it. So notice that the minus 4 has to stay outside the square root. And that would be the inverse. Now, number 2, switch the 2, so x equals 4y squared minus 2. Now you're trying to get y by itself, so the first thing we'd want to do is add 2 to both sides. So we have x plus 2 equals 4y squared. Now if I wanted to get y by itself, I'd have to take away the 4 first, so I'm going to divide by 4. Cancel that out. We have y squared equals x plus 2 divided by 4. And now to get y by itself, we will take the square root of both sides. So y is going to end up equaling the square root of x plus 2 divided by 4. Number 3, x equals 4 times y minus 6 squared. So first thing we want to do is divide by 4. You have to take it out before you can unsquare it. So we have x divided by 4 equals y minus 6 quantity squared. Now we want to take care of the square root so that we can unsquare this. So you have the square root of x divided by 4 equals y minus 6. And then you would add 6 to both sides. Okay, and the 6 should be added after the square root, not inside. So I'll put it over here. So y would equal square root of x divided by 4 and then plus 6 outside of the square root. Okay, we have x equals negative y squared plus 3. So first step is we're going to subtract the 3. So if x minus 3 equals negative y squared. Now we need to divide by the negative y, or negative 1, excuse me. So we're going to have x minus 3 divided by negative 1 equals y squared. And then you would take the square root of all of that. So y would equal the square root of x minus 3 divided by negative 1. Now, you can simplify this. You can divide each of these by negative 1 and actually get the square root of negative x plus 3, because x divided by negative 1 is negative x, and negative 3 divided by negative 1 is positive 3. Okay, on this one, we've got x equals the square root of y minus 3. Now, to undo a square root, we have to square. So now we're doing kind of the opposite of what we did in the first 4 problems. So we've got to undo this square root by squaring both sides. So x squared is equal to y minus 3. When you square a square root, it cancels that out. And then you'll just add 3. So x squared plus 3 equals y. So basically what we learned today is if it starts out with a square, your answer is going to have a square root. And if it starts out with a square root, your answer is going to have a square. Okay, for the next one, x equals 2 times the square root of y plus 1. Okay, now on this one, I would divide by 2 first. So we're going to divide by 2. So we have x divided by 2 equals the square root of y plus 1, and now we can square both sides. So So you have x squared over 4 equals y plus 1. Okay, notice when I squared x over 2, it's x squared and 2 squared, so x squared over 4. And then if you subtract 1, there, minus 1, you end up having x squared over 4 minus 1 equals y. That's how I wrote that. There's not that much room. Okay, number 7, x equals the square root of 4y plus 3. So we have to undo the square root first. So we're going to square that and square that. So we have x squared equals 4y plus 3. Square root, they cancel. So now we're going to subtract 3. So we have x squared minus 3 is equal to 4y. And then we divide by 4. So y is equal to x squared minus 3 divided by 4. Next one, x equals negative 2 square roots of y minus 6. So first thing we want to do is add 6. We'll add 6 over here. So x plus 6 equals negative 2 radical y. Cancel. Then we divide by negative 2. And so we have x plus 6 divided by negative 2 equals the square root of y. So now we would want to square both sides to get y. So y would equal x plus 6 divided by negative 2 quantity squared. Okay, number 9, we have x equals negative the square root of y plus 7. So first thing I'm going to do is divide through by a negative 1, so I can cancel out that negative right there. So this makes this negative x is equal to the square root of y plus 7. Then we can square both sides. If I square a negative x, I'm going to get positive x squared. And this will be y plus 7, and then you take away your 7, and so y is equal to x squared minus 7. And the last one, x equals 8 plus the square root of negative y plus 5. First thing you need to do is subtract this 8. So we have x minus 8 equals square root of negative y plus 5. Then we're going to square both sides. So we have x minus 8 quantity squared equals negative y plus 5. Because that's going to cancel. Subtract 5. So you have, I'm going to continue this up here, we have x minus 8 quantity squared minus 5 equals negative y. And then you need to go through and make everything negative to divide by a negative 1. So at this point, we're going to have to go ahead and multiply this x minus 8 squared. So this would become x squared minus 16x plus 64 minus 5 equals negative y. And so I'm going to end up having negative x squared plus 16x. 64 minus 5 is 59, so minus 59 equals y. Now the reason why they're all different signs is because this is a negative, the negative y right here. And so we have to go through and make that negative, make that positive, make that negative and that positive. So it would end up becoming negative 59. So this is